have heard that there's some special guests here, and I know you're all dying to get over there. So you are in Lead the Pack. I hope that's where you're meant to be because that's where you are today. My name is Shonda Clayton, and I'm a Superstar Director from Tupelo, Mississippi, and fearless leader of the Unlimited Potential Family of Teens. I'm so excited to talk to y'all about leadership because that is my passion. So when they asked me to speak on this, I was like, absolutely, I can't wait. So keep that short. How did y'all feel, those of you that came in when the directors were standing outside cheering you on this morning? Were any of y'all the ones that came in when they were cheering you on and welcome to World Tour and shooting the confetti and all that? No, did y'all miss that?
We were lost.
Oh my gosh, well, I think that is awesome to be welcomed in like that. And we may have missed, obviously, a lot of y'all, but there are a lot of people here in Nashville. So it's always good to be a part of something fun. We always want to be part of something. We want to feel like we're included, right? So after what you've seen today already, how many of you would say, I will absolutely be an SFR? Yes, absolutely. Y'all, we want to see you at SFR. So today we're going to talk a little bit about leadership and find out exactly what it means to lead the pack. So a lot of consultants are really worried that maybe they're not a good leader, maybe they're not doing the things that they need for their team. And so we're going to learn a little bit about that today and give you a little bit of confidence so that you feel like you can be the leader that your team deserves. If you have at least one person on your team, raise your hand. Every single one of these people with their hands up, they're leaders. Because you don't have to be a director, you don't have to be a superstar director. One person on your team makes you a leader. That is where you start. It doesn't matter if you have one or if you have thousands. Just being a leader to that one person makes you amazing. And so we're going to talk about 4 ways today that you can become a better leader. The first one is to lead by example. So your team is watching you, and believe it or not, most of them think you're pretty incredible, right? There may be some that don't, but there's always so many of your team that they're looking up to you and they're saying, whatever she's doing, I want to learn how to do that. She's incredible, or he's incredible. I don't want to leave you guys out because there are some amazing Cincy men. Yes. But you want to be who your team thinks you are. Be authentic. Be that person that they can look up to. And one of the ways that you can do that is by following the rules. Y'all, I know that seems so elementary, but following the rules is huge. When it comes to compliance, it's not that hard to learn. We have the Cincy standards on our workstation. Just go down there, look things up, figure things out, and when you can't figure them out, reach out to your upline and say, hey, I'm having an event this weekend, but I'm not really sure how to, can I set this up? Can I do this? Can I hand this out? Reach out to your upline and tell them I'm having trouble finding my answers. Email compliance. Tell them that you're looking for some help on something. I promise you, they are there to help you. But when you are following the rules, your team is looking up to you, and they're gonna adapt that same belief in what they're doing that you have. I know I have an incredible upline. My SSD is Jacqueline Roy. If y'all know her, she is so amazing. She's such a giving person. She's such a rule follower. And I want to be like that. Like, I want to be that person that follows the rules and does things the right way. So following the rules is one of those. Another thing that we can do is to be a light in the darkness. If you hear nothing else today, y'all, stop the negative. Stop it. I don't care if it's coming from you or if it's coming from a downline, stop it. If you have a team page, and you don't have to be a director to have a team page, but if you have a team page and somebody is spewing negativity on that page, don't call them out on the page. You need to reach out to them personally and you need to say, hey, it sounds like, you're being kind of negative and it makes me wonder if maybe you're needing some help with something. Reach out to them, see how you can help them, and just tell them, we don't allow that on our page. One of the best things you can do is just have a rule on your page that says no negativity. It will be removed. And when you see it, remove it right then and go to that person and say, hey, let's work through this. A few strikes and, the team page is a privilege. You don't have to have a team page. You don't have to put any person in your downline on a team page. That's not a requirement. That is a gift. That is something extra that you are doing for your downline to help them learn. So we need to all make sure that we know that when we go on a team page, that it's a privilege to be there. Another thing that we can do, number 2, is help them love Cincy. Help them fall in love with Cincy. So one of the happiest times in my business, and I'm sure yours as well, is when I'm succeeding. When I'm succeeding, that's like, yes, I've made it. Things are great. Things are wonderful, right? So how can you do that for your team? How can you help them to fall in love with Cincy and see it positively? One of the first things you can do there is help them with their launch event. If you've been in Cincy for a while like me, I've been in Cincy for 10 years, we tend to forget that, it's hard when you first get started. You don't know what the workstation does, you don't know where you can find things, and they need that help. So go through the checklist with them. Make sure they know that on that checklist is some really important information that's going to help them with their business, and it's also going to allow them to earn Sensational Start. Because they don't know that, y'all. They don't know it if we don't tell them. So, entering their first order. That's another thing that you can help them with that's going to build their confidence and get them excited. Sponsoring. A lot of consultants don't realize that the minute they join, somebody can sign up under them. We need to be sure that we're telling our downline, hey, you need to go out immediately and start working on some friends, some family members, somebody that's close to you, and get them to do this with you. Because they don't know if we don't tell them that. Another thing that we need to do as far as helping our team fall in love with Cincy is to teach them to fish. When you have 5 or 6 people on your team, it's pretty easy. They can message you and ask you anything, and you're so excited to help them because you're building that new team. But y'all, when you get 100 people on your team, and believe it or not, that's going to happen for you. When you get 100 people or 500 people on your team, you cannot answer all their questions. You can't do it. You've got to teach them where to find those answers. So, you want to teach them to fish. You want to teach them to find those images that are on the marketing tab. You want to teach them to show their downline who they need to call or who they need to email for things. It's going to make it so much easier for everybody if you're all working together. And when you teach your frontline that, when they join, guess what? They're going to do the same. Everybody's going to teach their frontline. Now, yes, you're going to have some people that just don't do it. Maybe they're not going to stay with Cincy and they're not going to be a leader. But if you have those few key leaders that step up and rise above, they're going to help you maintain your sanity, and it's going to help them maintain theirs as well. Another thing that I think is so important in helping people to fall in love with their business and want to be here long term is to encourage them. You may be, and I know there's a lot of you in this room because I was one of them for a long time, but you may be the only person that's in their corner. When you talk them into joining Cincy, their husband may have been telling them no, their wife may have been telling them no, their family may have been saying, oh my gosh, it's one of those pyramid schemes. You may be the only person they have that believes in them. So it is so important to encourage them and let them know that you are there and you believe in them. And you know what? Eventually, those other people are going to come around. My husband will tell you he was not very supportive at the beginning because he just thought it was one of those little things. I had sold other direct sales companies before, and he just thought it was one of those things that would eventually go away. But I had to prove myself to him, and now he is Cincy man all the way. I mean, he's here today, and I wouldn't let him come in here because it makes me nervous. But eventually those people are going to come around, but you may be the only person that's in their corner right now, so please keep that in mind when you are helping your downline. Another thing I want you to do is make sure that you are finding out why that person's doing this business. That's going to help them, but it's also going to help you. Because, y'all, if you don't know why they're doing this business, you don't know if they're doing this for a hobby. You don't know if they are doing this because they intend to be a superstar director within 2 years and build their dream home. You don't know why they are here. I have one on my team that she had a real reason for joining. She has a medically fragile child. She is unable to work outside of the house. She has to travel from Mississippi to Chicago every 2 weeks for her child to have treatments at a medical center. So she can't hold down a regular job. And Cincy was the answer to her prayers. She promoted to director in 5 months. The reason she promoted to director in 5 months is because she had a why. And if you don't find out what that why is, you can't help them get where they're trying to go. Another thing you can do to encourage your downline, social media shout outs. Look, we're all on social media. At some point in the day, just shout them out. Shout them out. Send them a text. You know, if you've got an iPhone, you can send a text with the little balloons or the fireworks. I love doing that, and people love to get those. They open them at the most awkward times, and then fireworks go off, and they're like, oh, embarrass me. But it's so much fun when they get those texts that says, oh my gosh, you just hit 500 for the first time, or whatever that is. Shout them out in some way. Totally skipped some stuff, knew that was going to happen. Whatever works for you, you just want to make sure that you are shouting them out to the best of your ability. And y'all, they need somebody in their corner giving them a good Heidi Thompson woohoo. Y'all know how Heidi is with her woohoo? I mean, that feels good when somebody does that for you. So make sure that you're doing that for your downline. What do you want to shout out? That's what we need to know, right? What are we going to shout out for everybody? Because what if they're not doing anything big? Guess what, y'all? It may not be big to you, but it may be huge to them. What about when they put that first order in? That's so exciting for a new consultant to put that first order in. And they actually did it, and it went through, and they got an order number, and they're so excited about that. That's something worthy of shouting out. Shooting star. Some people didn't even know about Shooting Star and they missed it. But when somebody hits it, they want to be shouted out, right? They want that encouragement. And you're the only one that can give it to them. Checklist. When they complete that checklist, you need to shout them out. You need to let them know. I'm so proud of you for completing that because now you can earn Sensational Start. And I know you can earn level 3, and I'm going to see you on that stage in Salt Lake City. You got to build that belief in them. Some consultants really thrive on that recognition, and that's why they're here. Nobody recognizes them for anything, and Cincy's what they have that somebody can reach out and recognize them for. So, what is another way that we can become a great leader? The next one is to lead by creating relationships. So, you want your team to stick around for a long time. You don't want them to just work for a little while and then they're gone. That's not cool, right? So we want them to feel like they are part of something. Just like those of you that were welcomed in today, when you come into the room or come to a team social or whatever it may be, make sure that they know they are welcome. When you have your little group and you're sitting up here and you're talking and you're having a good time because these are your friends and you love them, don't forget about that new consultant that's sitting 3 chairs down and nobody said a word to her. Make sure you take notice of those people. Make sure you reach out to them. That's important. You want them to feel like they belong. You want them to be here with you long term, right? Because we're all going to have dips in our business. We're going to have times when we're like, I cannot get any PRV this month. I don't know what's going on, but I can't get any PRV. We're going to have those days where we just cannot recruit. Oh my gosh, it's been 2 months and I have recruited nobody. You don't want that to happen, but it's going to happen. So when that does, you want to make sure that they know that they are still part of something. Because when you have that dip, you just feel so let down, don't you? You just feel like, maybe Cincy's not for me. But if that person has formed relationships within your team, they're going to say, but I can't quit because they're all going to World Tour next month and I won't get to go with them, right? You want them to feel like, I can't leave Cincy. I have to be a part of this. I love my team. These people are my friends. Team socials are one of the ways that you can inspire people. I talked about that a little bit, but we'll go into that a little more in depth. How many of you are actually hosting team socials? Yes, I need to see more hands than this. Oh my goodness. Listen, did you know you don't have to be a director to have team socials? No, you don't. If you have one person on your team, guess what? You can have a team social with that one person. Coffee talk, movie night. Throw some out if you got some. But coffee talk, movie night, couples cookout, sample making. Any of those things you can do together. And it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 or 3 of you. There's been a point in my business where I've had a team of around 60 and had a team social and 1 show up. So what did I do? Did I just cancel my team social? Heck no. We're going to make some samples. We're going to talk. I'm going to work with that person. And guess what? They get a one-on-one with me that night. Mm-hmm. They get a one-on-one because they showed up. And let me tell you something. I've had that happen several times where it was 1 or 2 people that showed up. And you know what? They're my directors now. You don't cancel that team social because only 1 person shows up. All right, so another way that we can do this is we can get involved in charity and service organizations. So a few years back, short story, but a few years back, I was shopping for Christmas and realized that my grandparents were no longer here for me to buy for. That was really hard. And I'm like, okay. That was really hard to realize I didn't have them to buy for anymore. And so I went into Chick-fil-A, and I don't know if your Chick-fil-A has this or not, but there was a golden angel tree in Chick-fil-A. And it was for seniors that were in assisted living and nursing homes and places like that. And I thought, wow, this is just like, it was such a coincidence that I was out shopping that day and realized that, and then walked into that Chick-fil-A. So I said, okay, I'm going to do this in honor of my grandparents. And I pulled an angel off the tree, and I went and shopped for them for Christmas. And I did that for a couple of years. And I was thinking, what can I do with my team that we could do together as a service project, something for an organization. And my Superstar director, Jacqueline Roy, she told me, she said, Shonda, think about what breaks your heart. And I knew right then, that's what broke my heart. Was those little old people that didn't have anybody to buy for them, y'all. That's somebody's grandma. And they didn't have anybody to buy for them, right? And so I said, okay, that's it. That's what we're going to do. And I pitched it to my team, and they all fell in love with the idea. And so that's what we do every year. We take up money. It doesn't matter if they can't give $2 or if they can give $200. We take up money. We all go shopping together. We buy for these little old people that have their sizes on there, and they're wanting things like socks and t-shirts, y'all. It's so simple. And so we decided we were going to do that. We'd go shopping together. Then we would come back to my house. We would wrap all their gifts up and make them pretty. You know, you can just put them in a bag, but we're not doing that. We're going all bougie with the bows and everything. So we really did it up big, you know. And then we would meet at Chick-fil-A, and we would have a little team social there and drop our gifts off. Y'all, if you want to bond with your team, you just find you a charity or service organization to work with, and let me tell you something, it'll humble you real quick. You will form bonds with people that are so incredible. I highly encourage that. It's a great way to just bond with your team and get to know everybody and even find out a little bit more about them, you know? So, another thing is sitting together at events. We all had the signs today and we were like, you can sit with us, right? That's exciting. Yep, look, Annette has hers back there. You can sit with us. Always, like I said earlier, make sure that people know they can sit with you. Don't let that person be sitting 2 seats down and not have anybody to talk to. Make sure that they feel included in whatever it is that you're doing. So sit together and have that time to bond. How many of you, this is your first event? Look at that, look at that. If any of you are sitting by yourself, like just go down next to somebody and say, hey girl, I don't want you to be by yourself today, okay? All right, so one of the other ways that we can create relationships, you're going to create friendships with this, okay? Some of your very best friends are sitting in this room. Maybe you're brand new and you've never been to an event. Your best friend may be here. I met my best friend at boot camp, y'all. I mean, like somebody that I go everywhere with. We're at every incentive trip together. Like, we can't wait to earn the next trip or go to boot camp or go to Summit or wherever because we want to see each other, right? And so that's how you're going to be. If you're new, I'm telling you, it's coming. Like, your best friend may be in this room. And that's exciting. So we talked about leading by example. We talked about helping them love what they do, love Cincy. And we talked about creating relationships. So the fourth and final piece of becoming a good leader. Y'all, this is so important. So important. Like, this is where my heart is. Let their success be your mission. When you get up every day, let their success be what you're waking up for, not your own. Because let me tell you, if you are working for them, if you're working for your downline, for them to be where they need to be, you're going to get where you need to be. You don't have to worry about yourself. Because if you're working with them, you know what they're doing? They're just taking their hand and they're just pushing you right onto the top. They're just pushing you up there. But their success should be your mission. It's been a really good year for our business. We promoted to Superstore Director this past year. Woo! And yeah, I was pretty excited about that. But y'all, there is nothing that excites me more than to see my group out there killing it. To see them promoting and earning trips. Like, I get teary-eyed thinking about the consultants that have never earned a trip and what they're going to look like walking onto that ship in June. That's exciting. That should just light your fire when somebody in your downline does something like that. I mean, it just makes me feel so good. This current incentive, we had 16 that earned, and more than half of them it was their first incentive to ever earn. I was so excited for them. Like, I'm over here, people are asking me, did you earn the incentive? Yeah, I did, but let me tell you about my downline, because they earned, and I'm so excited for them, and they're sending me text messages, and it's just such a good feeling. Y'all, I literally get to watch Cincy change people's lives. I mean, just take that in and think about that for a minute. You get to watch Cincy change people's lives, and you're a part of that. That is huge. It doesn't have to be a director promotion. It doesn't have to be an incentive. It doesn't have to be anything huge like that. It can be something as simple as your downline being able to pay their bills. It can be something as simple as them putting a child through college. I have a director on my team and literally she is working every day because she wants her kids to be able to go to school where they want to go to school. That's huge to her. That is huge. Maybe it's so that they can put braces on their child or pay for their child to go on mission trips. You know, I mean, we all have our budget at home and we only have so much in that budget. That Cincy may be their extra that provides those things that otherwise they wouldn't have. So I just want to say, when someone else is winning, you get to smile and take pride in the fact that maybe something that you said or something that you did had just a little bit to do with that person's success. So maybe you helped them earn SFR. The feeling that we get when we see their success, y'all, it should just make your cup run over. It really should. I know it does mine. Do the little things. Do the little things that don't mean much to you, but they're huge to somebody else. Send them happy mail. People love to open their mailbox and have happy mail. I mean, you can get cards super cheap at TJ Maxx or wherever, and glitter bomb them. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun when they open it. They tell me I stuck it in my purse and carried it to work, and now I have to back it at work. I love that. Shout them out on your team page. Empower them to lead the next team social. Everybody has something to give. Tell them, I love the way you do your whip boxes. Would you please share that at our next team social? That's going to make them feel so good that you noticed. Send them a text that says, great job on your Facebook Live. First of all, most of them are going to go, oh my God, you watched my Facebook Live? That is so awesome. You know, it's going to make them feel so good because they didn't think anybody watched it. They thought they were just talking to the air, but you watched it and you said, great job. Y'all, I promise you, when you get that I did it text, or they tag you on Facebook that they earned their first incentive, or maybe you get to see that big smile that comes across their face when they walk across stage as a Sensational Start Level 3 earner. That's pretty awesome. Or maybe it's when they break down in tears on your couch because they finally promote to director. They've been working so hard and they reached that director promotion and they're right there on your couch in your house. Gosh, y'all, that's just awesome. I'm telling you, if you will pour your heart and your soul into your leadership, you are going to make a difference to somebody. You'll never make a difference to everybody, but I promise you have the power to matter to somebody. Thank y'all for coming.